Welcome all, welcome all. This is going to be one of those fun episodes because either we're going to be celebrating three beautiful albums, or we're going to be mercilessly, brutally honest about them. But before we get into that, how is everyone doing this evening?
Very good evening, all.
Okay.
Very good evening. Yet another
Okay.
edition of the New Jack Swing podcast. We're back in effect.
Yes. I used to be a big Sesame Street fan, and they used to do that things. One of these things are not like the other. One of these things are not the same. And then can you find out what it is? And so if you can guess, Knight, what do you think? One of us is somewhat different than the other.
Oh my God, you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like I look, two of us wearing glasses, two of us aren't. Oh, well, one of us is not wearing a hat.
Yes.
So
That's it. Well done.
worked it out.
Cookie for you. Benson Rascal 7855. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. And Mac teaches pets. And Mac's always he always gets in touch to get the rules ready, just to make sure it down to the T. You know, there's no official FIFA handbook out. Anyway, before we get into the albums and talk about them, any music or any sort of news that we want to talk about? I mean, we did talk about we did go live on Tuesday for D'Angelo, and I didn't realize how many people wanted to use the space to mourn and celebrate his career, which, I think it will take a while before we get to understand his full creativity and what his whole life and stuff. But I appreciate Vij and Steve for making themselves available for us to do this, and for everyone who joined in on Tuesday. Yes. That said, Vijay, I'll start with you. Anything to report for the week?
Well, D'Angelo was the main news. I wanted to correct something I said on that podcast. I'd said that this was the biggest death since Whitney, and I got my timelines very skewed. What I meant to say was, in my opinion, this is the biggest death since Prince, and Whitney was a massive loss. I'm not... but I just wanted to correct that because for some reason I don't know. I'm old. I forget timelines, and that is that. I wanted to share this one disc. This disc is called "Peace for the Love of Soul." It's a compilation from Japan from 2001, and it's an interesting compilation. It's got the Puff Daddy remix of "This Is How We Do It." It's got Lade's Deep Down, the All-Star mix. It's got Erykah Badu's Apple Tree 2B3 Summer mix. It's got Image's The Choice Is Yours different drum mix. Blackstreet's Happy Song full crew mix. And it's got Mint Condition, You Send Me Swinging, Silky Smooth mix, amongst other things. It's just such a random thing. And if you're into collecting music, this is one worth hunting down. It's called For the Love of Soul from 2001 from Japan. That's all I wanted to share.
Okay. Well done. Okay. Stevie, anything to report for the week?
Yeah, I've just been last couple of days in and out of record shops filming for my Into Vinyl Search episode 4, which premieres tomorrow, 8 p.m. Monday night on my channel. Viewership's gone right up. I don't know how, don't know why. It's gone from like 200-300 views to 1,000. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, that's all I've been doing. Working and running around in and out of record shops, doing bits and bobs. That's been my week. It's been an up and down week. We had the shocking news, obviously, of D'Angelo on the Tuesday, which was really bad. And then Wednesday we did that great interview with
Free.
I don't know what that was. It sounds like a plane taking off or something.
I'm not sure what happened. We do it free.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Who told us some great stories about Prince, didn't they?
Yes.
Hanging
Yes.
out
Yeah.
with Prince.
I would hope people will get a chance to look at that because we did it live. Okay. Andrew.
Yeah, the only thing that I saw, and this broke as of last night, and people are talking about it in the comments already. A city near and dear to my heart, and that is Chicago, is where apparently Brandy and Monica's Boy Is Mine tour, Brandy just like walked off the stage after some audio issues. And it's big enough news to where it made like People magazine. So, you know, that's like, it's a big deal. And I did see it on one of the threads, like prayers up for Brandy. We hope she's okay. So I don't know, man. Like I do hope everything's okay, number one. But I also hope it's not one of those things where it's like there's like drama behind the scenes, because I don't know if you guys remember, but when they performed that song on the MTV VMAs, it must have been 98. They had literally gotten into a scuffle. And when you see like their faces, they look upset while they're singing on stage. So man, I hope everything's all right, because there's a lot of people who are coming out for that tour just to like kind of hear that song, and people want their money back.
Yeah, I've just got a. It's not that yes, I just got a statement from Brandy. It says, "To my dear friends in Chicago, thank you for your overwhelming love and support. I apologize for the abrupt end to the performance in Chicago." She said after weeks of rehearsal, she experienced dehydration and a feeling of wanting to faint. So everyone involved agreed that prioritizing her well-being was the most important thing. And she tried to get back on, but it just didn't happen. So she looks forward to return to the stage stronger and more grateful than ever.
How old is Brandy and Monica now? What age?
I think they're both 46, 45 or something like
to
that.
be on that stage doing all them moves, it must be taking a toll at that age, you know.
Yeah, and she's grateful for Monica for taking over and stuff. I mean, they've been showing behind the stage videos to show how fun how things are. But Brandy did admit that she was nervous on the first stage and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I think Brandy is much bigger than Monica. She has the bigger hits and bigger songs, and so. But you know, we just hope that it is dehydration. But
Maybe
as
she
you
needs
said,
to take a step out of Mariah Carey's book and just take one step very slowly at a time as she goes across the stage. Not too much energy, you know.
Yeah, but anyway, we just hope that I'm sure she'll be back in. It could be sound issues, and they could have sorted it out. And like when Beyonce has sound issues or wardrobe malfunction, people get fired and hired, and it doesn't happen again. So, Ezekiel, last is Brooklyn, and Dio, Miss Seven, you're welcome. DJ All Day, welcome. You know, we always start off just going through the music news, and before, Derek from Minneapolis, welcome as well. Yeah, we always start off with the music news before we go into our episode. And so let's talk about these three albums on top. And, you know, I'll save it for you last night because you are our New Edition super fan. But VJ, you want to talk through the three albums and your thoughts about the albums and doing this list?
I was most excited about Bell Biv DeVoe and Johnny Gill's albums when they were in around 92, 93 when they were coming out. Johnny Gill had arguably the most perfect album ever in 1990 that came out. So I was really, really looking forward to Provocative.
Yeah.
And I felt deflated when I heard it. A little bit how Andrew felt when he heard Hootie Mack. So Provocative was not I mean, listening to it now, I realize how judgmental my ears were, because I think we were ridiculously spoiled at the time for music. It sounds amazing. Listening to it this last week has been an absolute joy. There is so much amazing music on Provocative. With Hootie Mack, I wanted to say there was a long gap. I want to say a year and a half between hearing Gangster on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, you know, when they were coming down the stairs and all that stuff was happening. I was like, this sounds amazing. What is this Bell Biv DeVoe track? It's going to be great. And then it took forever to come out. I think it came out early January '93, if I'm not mistaken. I think I had it on the 2nd of January, and I was very excited because it was the first time of that year that I saw 1993 on the stamp, and it was only the second day in the year. So Gangster was very exciting for me to get that single in my hands. The remix was insane. And then there was a long delay. Then Hootie Mack came along, and I was very, very happy with that album. I know a lot of people weren't, but you couldn't tell me anything about Bell Biv DeVoe at that time. They were it. And Ralph Tresvant was, I don't think it was a good album. I think it feels a little bit like how Bobby's Forever album was, where he produced a lot of it himself. And I don't think that was the way to go. And not saying that Ralph didn't do a good job on certain songs. He did. But it's not, I mean, Ralph at that time could have had anybody. I mean, he had Jam and Lewis. He had Carl West on the previous album with I'll Be Sure. You had Daryl Simmons and KO, all those LA and Babyface crew. I don't know. It's Going Down is not the one for me. But that was the weakest album by a long, long way for me. But yeah, that's my take on these three albums.
Okay. Miss Stephanie said all those second albums were her favorite. Stevie, what was your overall impression of all three albums?
Oh, just by the way, good evening to everyone who's already tuned in, all the regulars posting away the message. We can see him flooding in. We always appreciate that. Loads with us tonight. I'm just looking at the two that I listened to the most back then. I'm talking back then, with the Ralph album, the Bell Biv DeVoe. But yeah, the Johnny album, out the free, was far stronger. I did play the Bell Biv DeVoe a lot back then. It's like night and day now. Going back listening to it now, I am really struggling with that Bell Biv DeVoe. I mean, literally 80% of the album, you can scrap it for me now. It's just like, I can't. Maybe it's my age. Some of the singing, the bum notes, the rapping, it's just like, oh, this is just tragic. You know what I mean? The production's fantastic. The solid East Coast jazz funk, what's going in the production, fantastic. But what they're saying over the top of it and how they're sounding, it's almost embarrassing. But it does, saying that, it has a couple of amazing moments, which I just didn't listen to enough at the time, which stand out to me now. Ralph Tresvant, I have got a soft spot for that, but how do you go from like your debut single on your album being Sensitivity to opening your new Sophomore album and calling the first track Graveyard? What? Whose idea was that? Graveyard. What? I don't get it. Johnny Gill is just, you know what? There's some. I wish I could have put more than 4 tracks in this chart. It's like killing me what I've left off. That's how strong it is. I wouldn't say it's strong as the debut, but it overall as an album, it is stronger than the other two. But all the albums have got gems on them, but they're just, 2 of them are not as consistent. That's all I'd say. And I think the time period as well. You look at 1990 as a year, you're in the peak of dance music, pop. It was just a great period. I think by 93, everyone's looking at where's things going. Is it going gangster rap? Is dance music coming to an end? And I think they struggled with that as well. The fun element of the first Bell Biv DeVoe album had completely gone. Try like Do Me Baby. Where's the fun? It had just gone in this album. So, oh well.
Yeah, so I know before, yeah, because Andrew, you're the sort of the his any experience, but I'll just give my 2 cents. I think I remember when um, Above the Rim was premiered on BET, and there's like, yeah, we've got the new Bell Biv DeVoe, and I watched it, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm coming from one of the best New Edition collab for me was that Word to the Mother Boot City remix. It was flawless. It was like, okay, the guys are gonna be back, and then we get Above the Rim, and it took me by surprise, like, what this, what's this, and especially you always like to compare it to what was happening on the radio. Um, we had Dario Madman that came out in '93. So listen to what Jodeci were doing compared to what any of these three albums were doing. We had 12 Play by R. Kelly. We had Tevin Campbell's I'm Ready, Tony Braxton. We had H-Town come out. Babyface had Coop for the Cool in Me. Aaron Hall had The Truth. Okay, you might have questions around that. We had some good soundtracks like Menace to Society. Snoop had his Doggy Style. Um, LL Cool J, let me see. Joe had, everything mint condition from the Mint Factory. So it was in Alexander Haddo, Love Makes No Sense. So this is just the intro. The debut album came out at this time as well. And so just a few tracks, a few albums that came out in '93. Hootie Mack, Hootie Mack came out in June of '93. Johnny Gill's Prerogative came out in June as well, so within the same month. Then Ralph's came later in the year, I think January of '94. So the music had changed, but they just thought, no, we're just going to stick to the old formula and just go down that route. And it was just not in tune with what Jodeci and R. Kelly and H-Town Mint Condition were giving us. And it just felt, even Tevin Campbell, it just felt different. And so I was very disappointed with Bell Biv DeVoe's Hootie Mack. I would be honest, I never heard Ralph's album when it came out, and I'm in front of BET every day. I'm on the radio, listening to the radio. And I was '93. I was in Alabama. Did not hear anything from Ralph. So I've only fully listened to that album recently.
Wow.
But back in '93, '94, '95, did not know. I know the song he did for Mo Money soundtrack, but that was about the only thing I heard from him. So it just shows you how people didn't receive the album, that it didn't get the airplay. And Johnny, I think, as a continuation from his debut, the previous album, it felt like he kept the same formula. And I would say, I had much better songs, much better. The layout, everything was great. He probably just missed that. My, or just missed the song that would just take it over, that really strong song. It was like a nice 8, but he didn't have a 9 or a 10 record, and that's why the album really didn't really punch through where the music was at that time. So, Knight, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna scatter them throughout the podcast. The first thing I'll say, though, really quick, is when I saw the kind of promos for this episode and was like the downfall, I was like, because the Any for Lifers, they're kind of like the Bayhive, right? Like, we don't want them coming for us. So I had to make sure that it is clear that we are fans. We love New Edition. We're not trying to like diss them. That said, though, being objective, yes, the second albums were not up to the snuff of the first. And that's probably what, unfortunately, or fortunately, kind of encouraged them to get back together and do Home again. So my brain is firing a million neurons at the same time. So what I'll say is music had changed. And one of the things that I like to say, that I think some people agree with me, some people don't, is that culture moved at a quicker pace. I mean, the new culture to me now is technology. Like that's where if you want to see change and you look 10 years at an iPhone from 10 years ago to now or whatever, or even social media, that's where things are changing and music hasn't changed as much. But back in the 80s and the 90s, the whole musical landscape could change within 4 or 5 years. And that's why an artist could come out and then be completely irrelevant. So 92, 93, 94, that was when music was changing from more of like a poppier new jack sound to either gangster rap or hip hop soul. And New Edition had to kind of figure out where they were going to go. And unfortunately, I don't think any of them really successfully navigated that change. Although I think Home Again kind of did find its way a little bit. So I remember when BBD came out, like I Above the Rim, like you, I did not get that song at all. And then like Ricky comes in the end, like, what is this, you know? And then the album comes out and I like certain songs, but overall it just fell short. Johnny's album, I actually liked more back then. I did listen to it now, and believe it or not, like Converse, one of these things is not like the other. Like I heard it once and I was done. I was like, you know what? Like, and it will be reflected in my rankings. But yeah, no, it didn't do it for me. And then finally, Ralph's. So I remember seeing like the titles, and there was I remember someone said, "You'll remember me," right? So I'm like looking at the album before I listened to the songs. I'm like, okay, cool. Graveyard, what the hell, right? But You'll Remember Me, that sounds like it could be a good ballad, right? No, it's like actually like it's a funk song. And back then I hated it, and they actually put it out because I was in the Bay Area and he was living in the Bay Area because he was signed to Bust It Records, just like Troop was. And I think that if you were signed to Bust It, unfortunately, your ish was you were done, because Troop, once they signed to Bust It, their career went down. Ralph, same thing. Special Generation didn't really go anywhere. I think it was a management issue, honestly, as far as that record goes. But overall, I appreciate what Ralph was trying to do. He was ambitious, and I appreciate what Jam and Lewis did on that album. So, you know, what you're going to see on my list is, you know, definitely more of a lean towards the Ralph and BBD side of things. And there is one song on Johnny's that I really liked that I played twice. But everything else was a one and done.
Yeah, here's the other thing. The album covers, if you compare the album covers for the first 3 albums, quite iconic now, compared to these. The Ralph Tresvant didn't even get a vinyl release. CD and tape only.
I think Ralph had the worst album cover for '93. I think Johnny's was classic. Johnny's looks, because it seems like he kept the same.
Like Johnny, I just think it's boring. Very boring.
Out of the 3 of them, I mean, even the color of BBD, it didn't feel as inviting.
BBD's a bit dark. I mean, I know the Ralph Tresvant's dark, but it's a bit moody. The Ralph, there's a scene set in there with the Bell Biv DeVoe. I don't get that. He's so after just plunged in darkness.
Yeah.
And the logo, changed the logo as well. They should have kept the original album logo.
Yeah. And I didn't understand with Gangster, because it was as close to that Do Me and, you know, the Thought It Was Me, but it didn't sit on the album. It was almost like a hidden bonus track on it. It was almost like, yeah, we've done that. It's not as good as what we have, so we just put it in. But it was like, wait a minute, that's probably your best track on the album, and you didn't really use that as your. If that was the lead single, and then you had Something in Your Eyes, and then you had a few other tracks, then you probably would have said, oh, okay, these guys are back. But Above the Rim, it was like, wow, you know, what is this? I mean, I can still see myself sitting at home watching that and almost thinking, what I was shocked. I mean, listening and just watching that and not understanding. So, as I said, and I think if you think about it, a year earlier, Bobby had dropped the Bobby album. If he was right, could you now compare the Bobby album to any of these 3 albums? What would you say?
Bobby.
Yeah, by a long way, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no comparison. It's Bobby. When we heard Bobby, there was genuine excitement. Abs, you were like, this is great. I didn't, you know, You had Don't Be Cruel, and then Bobby came along, and I didn't think that I didn't know how anybody could come anywhere near to Don't Be Cruel. And I'm not saying Bobby is better than Don't Be Cruel or close, but it was exciting. That feeling was there, and the others didn't have that.
Yeah, and I think Bobby was still he was still relevant with Bobby. I will say I was also disappointed with Bobby compared to Don't Be Cruel, me personally. But but it was still he was still on SNL, he was still performing everywhere, he was on the MTV VMAs, it was still and Getaway, Good Enough, and Humping Around were all getting still a lot of love. Whereas these albums, they were not getting love on mainstream radio at all. It was to me, it was such a far cry because, again, in 1990, the NE crew were running things. And as you said, Namdi, in 91, that Word to the Mother was it dominated. And I remember MTV played the hell out of that video too. And it was what y'all should have got back together right then and there. Yeah. We all know it. Right there and there, had a new edition album 92 or 93 and call it a day. But no. So
yeah, I think I blame MCA Low Sound because they should have seen the success of that. I don't know why they kept doing the remix albums. They could have just got them back in, and then it would take the pressure off of their albums. And I think just one other thing, because Ralph's vocals in 93, we were going, I told you about, we had Casey and Jojo, we had Dino from H-Town. We were getting the sort of church male voices.
Good call.
And Ralph's sort of hype, it just didn't fit in what we were listening to. It felt out of place. It was this is, we've been there. And I think, so sad for that. Really sad for that. Johnny could still handle it, but he just missed that. If he just had a hit, and I don't know, they did everything that they could have. As I said, I give them, it was much better than the other two and stuff. Calvin was asking, would we ever see a group like New Edition ever in the way music is today?
Probably an AI group, but that'll be about it.
Yeah. You've got to invest in a group. You've got to do the artist development. You've got to nurture them. And no one has that time anymore. I think we will struggle with that. Okay. Yes.
Oh, we've got Kellis. Kellis is with us. It's the Kellis. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's Keld. My eyesight's going.
Yeah.
Read Kellis.
Namdi, did you want to clarify the rules? Because we talked about There You Go and Let's Just Run Away and Gangster. So did you want to just explain that?
Yeah. So I can't remember There You Go.
We included Gangster, which was on the European version of the Bell Biv DeVoe album, but we didn't include it was on the European edition of the Johnny Gill album.
Yeah, Here We Go and Let's Just Ride. So guys,
they were on soundtracks anyway. So
they were on the soundtracks, because I looked at them. So we are going through 4 songs from each of these 3 albums, and we're going to rank them from 1 to 12. And but we included Gangster because it did come out and it wasn't on any other album but this album. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna start. So guys, we start from number 12 up to 1. Let me look at my list here. At number 12, I actually didn't mind this. I thought it was a decent track. The fact that Ralph did some writing on this, but Your Touch, I felt it was as close to what R&B was, but I just think vocally, if he had that sort of Aaron Hall type of Casey and Jojo kind of vocals, it would have really gone through. It would have really sailed through more. But I loved I liked Your Touch. So that's off at number 12, and that was from Ralph's album.
Nice track.
All right, my number 12, also a Ralph Tresvant track, and I put Sexo at number 12.
You
Jam
put
and
what?
Lewis. Sexo.
Okay, wow.
It's a Jam and Lewis production, written by Jam and Lewis, and there's something about it. It's not a great Jam and Lewis track, but there's something about it. There just is, and I don't know. It's on the tip of somebody's tongue, maybe Andrew's tongue. I don't know. It's not. I don't know what it is. It's just, yeah, it's a good song. Number 12. That's me.
It's almost like we're struggling to find words just to justify what we're doing. Okay.
Well, it's sparse. The production is very sparse. It's an odd track for a Jam and Lewis their sound, but somehow it works. It's
Did
just
Jam and Lewis produce that one?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah. So Sexo is it's I don't know. It's
Not a strong enough song. It's like a lot of the up tempos on that album. The production was pretty funky on a lot of them, but the songs just weren't strong enough.
yeah.
That's the issue with it, really. That album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stevie, yeah.
Number 12. I had a torrid time. I'm going to start with the Bell Biv DeVoe track. I had a torrid time trying to pick a fourth track from this album. At first it was Ghetto Booty, and I thought, how can I put a song called Ghetto Booty in my chart? I can't do it. And then there's another song called From the Back, and they're talking about another booty, and I'm like, and then there's another song about a 16-year-old girl, and I thought, there's no way I can put that one in, even though production's great. So I'm like, all these tracks are being thrown out, and I ended up on some song that tells a story, and the rapping's terrible in it. If only they just took the rap out on the mid 8 bit. But I ended up with The Situation at number 12. It tells a story that they're not talking about ghetto booties and From the Back and 16-year-old girl. I think he's got someone pregnant in this. You know, no surprise. But yeah, take that rap out, and it's a half decent, you know, R&B track. Not a killer. And it's filling, you know, I could have started at number 11 to be quite, or put another Johnny Gill track in there for me. But
damn.
Luckily, the other three Bell Biv DeVoe's are solid, and I'm happy with. But like I say, fourth one, torrid time trying to get a fourth track.
Andrew.
So, when I'm listening to music, it takes discipline to like not hit skip when I don't like a song. So let me tell you that I employed a lot of discipline as I was walking. I do my exercise walk, absorbing Provocative again. That said, the first song in my journey, not the first song, but one of the first songs that in my journey that I didn't want to just hit skip on was actually Long Way From Home by Johnny Gill at number 12. And the reason why I appreciated it was because it was just like in a sea of Jam and Lewis. All of a sudden, you just hear that classic LaFace sound. I think it's a saxophone or clarinet or something, but it's like there's a horn in there. That's just kind of carries like the melody in the background. And he just does his thing. It's formulaic. It's very bombastic. It's that da 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 da. The long way, whatever. I can't sing. Yeah. But it was just like, okay, I can see this. This actually is a single. It's very like, you know, it was very early 90s. So that's number 12. And I'm glad that we've got all three albums represented.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my number 12.
So before I get to number 11, we have to talk about, and I didn't have it on my list, so I'm sure one of, and I doubt if Stevie had it on his list. Lonely. Is
So lovely.
Is it? Yeah, she's lovely.
Oh, lovely.
She's lovely. She's 16, and I was listening to it at work, and for those who don't know, I work as a therapist, and I work with 18 and under, and I was listening to that just before an hour or so before my first patient came in, and he said 6 plus 10, and I was thinking 6 plus 10, and they were really hit. And I was thinking, wow, that's really risky. And then my patient, she's 16. I'm thinking, but how are you singing about a child like that? And so I don't know if it maybe at the time I didn't pay attention to the lyrics, or less. Did you guys listen to the
Oh yeah.
lyrics back in the day and still think, ooh, or did you not even you were singing along, not even thinking about it?
Never even sang along. I was just like, man, what are you guys doing? And the thing
so
is, like,
stood
but
out
it
to
was
you back
it's
in the
worse,
day.
even worse now, right? Because I'll be honest with you, back then I was like, what are you doing? But at least you're waiting until she's 18, right? But now it's like, no, it is a straight up grooming song. Like they're literally saying, I'll take you out, I'll talk to you, whatever, but then call me on your 18th birthday. Like that's literally what he's saying. It's
How old were they back then in
probably
1993?
early 20s, probably.
I was trying
Like,
to think. Yeah.
Yeah, they're about 23, 24. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. VJ, we haven't heard from you.
I think I thought of that. I didn't register the song like that at the time.
Okay.
I mean, I was 18 at the time, so, and I think the age of consent in the UK is 16.
It's 16. That's right. I was going to say it's different in the UK. Yeah.
I think that resonated maybe differently. And 18, if I'm 18 at the time and they're talking about a 16-year-old, that's not a massive
leap.
It's not. But years later, when I listened to that, and when you said 6 + 10, I'm like, oh my god,
oh my god, lovely, tempting. Like Ron says that. All right, sorry.
6 + 10. I thought they were just working on their maths. I don't know, because that as a lyric, it sounds, thinking about it, like for the last 15, 20 years, well after the song came out, it doesn't sit right with any of us. And we know that. It's just it's an odd lyric. And if they were in their 20s, it's even odder. But I think I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to get that in there. So with that said, I think this song, my number 11, reminded me of a few of the songs on Home Again, and I'm not. I love slow jams, but I have a particular type of slow jam that I'm really into. So for number 11, I think it was a really good track. It shows what he needed for the album, and I'm going to read a review from this album. The All Music editor said that on his follow-up to his debut album, Ralph attempts to show that he's a bad mother, fails, unfortunately, except for 3 of the tracks produced by Jimmy and Terry. Ralph chose to write and produce the majority of his album himself. Bad choice. But this is one of those tracks written by Jimmy and Terry, and it's When I Need Somebody. And I thought, okay, this is nice, this is safe, but it sounds like I've heard it before, so it wasn't special. It felt like, that we've got a formula that works for Ralph's voice. But in 93, it just, what was, knocking the boots and 12 play and bump and grind, it just didn't feel as if it had the same type of oomph. But it was a nice little melody song. So When I Need Somebody's at number 11 for me. Yes.
Nice choice.
Oh,
Put him aphrodisiac and above the rim, man. It's amazing how our tastes are all different.
Oh yes. It's gonna be fun. Everyone's all over the place, and I'm holding back. But,
For me, my number 11, it had one sample in it, sampled by Tyrone Davis, Turn Back the Hands of Time. This was a single, at least it was in Europe and Japan. I don't know if it made it as a single in the US. It's Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis track, written and produced by them. It's Johnny Gill's Acute Sweet Love Addiction. Fantastic track. I loved it. I loved the mixes. Very nice. But it didn't resonate the way the first album did. You know when your expectations are something for an album. That's what it was with this album. It just, there was something not quite on that same level as that first album. So Acute Sweet Love Addiction, I got it, I listened to it, and I remember listening to it, and I was forcing myself to really, really like it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to listen to this to death, and it's going to be great. But I never felt that. It's a good song, very good song, but not on that level. That's my number 11.
Okay. Stevie.
Number 11, again, the same issue I had with the Bell Biv DeVoe. I've gone to Ralph Tresvant. Struggling here to pick a fourth track. I think on the Ralph album, there's probably two outstanding tracks for me. Then these, like I say, the rest of it, the up tempos, the solid production. I'm just struggling with the song. They're just okay, the songs, but I think why I picked this one, it's a slow jam, and there's a female vocal that comes in about 2/3 into the track, which just blew me away. I forgot her name. I was going to write it down. I forgot to write a name down, but in this, he's doing his best Barry White impression. He's going, hey, I know we just met, and side, and I know I can treat, and he's doing it. On some days I listen to it and I'm cringing. On other days, like when I'm in my slow jam mode, but I think what he does, he sets a good mood in this, and it kind of sums up the album cover with the girl in the background. Because when that female vocal comes in, oh my gosh! So Look at First Sight makes my number 11.
And with that, I actually love the production. I love the chorus, but I wish he was singing instead of the talking. If he was, I would have had it.
It's quite. Ooh.
Yeah, it just felt like I think almost like he was doing this sensitivity. The sensitivity rap,
the Ralph's rap.
The Ralph rap, but it worked on that because the production was solid, and we've already had the original one, and this was. But this one, it just didn't. I felt like this is a nice beat in the chorus, but why didn't you just sing? The talking stuff. It's
Well, like you said, they let the girl sing, and I'm glad they did.
And he was good, and I thought that if he had sang, I was So but it was good to at least to bring it in. So he said Kim from HWA was on Ralph's song.
Hoes with Attitude, they were called.
Okay.
That was a terrible project.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm not even familiar with that. That missed me, huh?
No, you didn't miss anything, man. I promise.
Real NF fans understand the real criticism against the New Edition solo project. New Edition best solo projects are when they sounded like New Edition.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Go ahead, Andrew.
All right. Just really quick. I remember when I would listen to Love at First Sight for inspiration when I was in high school. How do I talk to the girls, right? Anyway, so my number 11 is yet another JG track. Surprise, surprise.
Wow.
And yeah, man. And then this one actually is a good song. I do think it was worthy of being a single. But here's my argument, and I'm coming up with this argument live on this podcast, and that is, as music was changing, I do think that what was actually hidden was slower BPMs. And I think that was my issue with what I call the post-New Jack era. The post-New Jack era acts were with those faster BPMs. And I'm just like, this is not, we're not checking for this anymore. Dancing is actually out. It's more slower tempo. It's more bump and grind. It's more knocking the boots. It's more, if you start doing the Running Man or something like that, or just have choreography, you are already proving you are whack. Because this, that, and this, and it's the only time dancing came back was Soul for Real and Brandy, but they were still slower BPMs than this song. And this song is called Where No Man Has Gone Before. Wow. And unfortunately, I think that was where Jam and Lewis and them were going with their New Jack approach. But I'm like, I get it. I do. And I'm sure there's people who love that ish, but no, it's passe, and you're proving you're passe. And that was the issue, because I think that I hope we do a Mo Money versus Boomerang episode, because I do think that was really the showdown informally between LaFace and Jam and Lewis. 2 movies, 2 soundtracks, 2 approaches. And I do think that the up tempos on the Boomerang soundtrack were slower than Give You My Heart has a slower BPM. than say the best things in life are free. So that's my argument. I'm sticking to it. Where the man has gone before, JG.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, still at number 10 for me. I'm going back to Ralph and another track with Jam and Lewis. And there were elements of this song that I appreciated. It sounded like Marvin Gaye's "What's Going On," and so I liked it. There was another song that I preferred better than that, but it's "Who's the Mac," and I'm listening to it as in '93, and just wondering. You know, what it was a nice solid track, but it didn't feel as if this was a number one Billboard song. It didn't feel as if this was gonna dominate the radios. It just felt like a nice, safe, fun track. So who's the Mac at number 10?
Wow, Namdi's picked two huge Ralph tracks already off this album. Right there, right at the back end of his chart.
We know Namdi's going Johnny all the way, I think. I think it's gonna be like Johnny's next book.
It's Team Johnny.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Derek mentioned that the HWA album. You said it's dope. Because you said it's dope, that implies that you think it's very, very good. I will give it a less listen because you have said that, but I remember it being whack. I don't know. Maybe, as I said, like I was talking about provocative earlier, and I think my ears were different. We had too much music coming out.
How many albums did they make? Did they get past one album? Them ladies, I can't remember.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. But I'll give it a listen, Derek. My number 10 is. Where are we? It is produced by Ralph Tresvant, written by Ralph Tresvant. The lyrics are not great on this song, but I really like the production. I think Ralph has done a brilliant job on the production. Stevie mentioned Butts earlier, and Booty Affair is my number 10. I think it's a very nice melodic track, and it just keeps you going. You know, you're like, yeah, it's got a nice rhythm to it. So props for the production. Well done, Ralph. You did a great job on that, on the production side. Lyrics, not for me. I don't think the lyrics hold up, but production, fantastic. That's my number 10.
Sorry. I don't want to keep talking, but like, guys, just jump in there. That doom 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 doom. I remember back then, I was like, okay, finally we got a live one. Mind you, just no spoilers. Well, it's a little bit of spoiler. It did not make my list, but I'm glad that you call it out, because that one, like that got to be there. Like
it's nice
up there. Like I love that song. Yeah.
I think Namdi, we're talking about the Booty Affair, so that's my number 10.
Okay.
I think just the melody and everything. It just
this is funny.
Nice, nice.
Oh my god! Oh shoot!
DJ is always there with the jokes, man.
DJ all day. Oh goodness. Stevie.
There's like 3 or 4 really great slow jams on this album, but I've only included one. And it's what I've left off from this app, probably because I didn't play them as much as the more mid and up tempo tracks on this album. But the one grooved out slow jam that I have picked from the Johnny Gill album is Master Suite. Very flowing, grooved out track, a fantastic track. Number 10. Now it's starting to look like a proper chart now. From 10 to 1, they're all solid tracks. So
and Stevie, an interesting thing about that song, and I never realized this at the time, but the backing vocalist on that is Jamesia Bennett, man.
Wow.
How crazy is that, man?
They must have signed her to Perspective then. They must have had her signed and just waiting to because she ended up coming out on Perspective, didn't she?
She's Jamesia Magic. I mean, yeah, she's had 2 albums, both Magic.
Oh, forget she was Sounds of Blackness, weren't she? She was already signed. She already had stuff out with Sounds of Blackness. I'm forgetting that.
Why is LL Cool J listed as a songwriter on that track?
Might be the sample. I don't know. Might be the sample, or I don't know.
Master Suite, not sure.
Okay. Andrew.
All right, cool. I think I remember seeing that speculation. Maybe there's a version of Master Suite where like LL's kind of doing the I Need Love style rap over it. Anyhow,
Wow.
All right. Number 10 is, yes, you guessed it, another JG track. And actually, as I listened to this song, I remember liking it back then. I actually thought it should have been a single. And I think what it was missing, frankly, is I think this song should have been a duet. And I think this song should have had Janet on it. I don't care. Like, get Janet on there and do it together. And my number 10 is indeed A Cute, Sweet Love Addiction. I think that the song himself is cool, but had she just come in there as a female voice to kind of counter it, it was like the Best Things Life are free, but even like cooler. That was a missed opportunity, in my opinion. But yeah, that I think it was just like it was a good song. And yeah, anyways, I liked that one, and I just think it was missing something. And what was missing was, again, I think a female vocalist.
I think it would have been nice if Jam and Lewis had done more stuff with Johnny and Janet. I think that would have been. I agree, because they did Skin Games, which was like an unreleased track that they put on a B-side of I can't remember what single it was off Rhythm Nation. Skin Games is brilliant, and then you think those vocalists do work together. I just don't know. Yeah, I agree, man. Why didn't they work together more?
At the very least, or get Karen White. I mean, one of the two. You know, I mean, obviously Janet's the bigger name, and maybe Janet was like, "Yeah, I'm too big. I'm doing my Janet thing right now." So fine, get your wife, man. Terry, come on.
But the Janet album came out in '93. There was no way, and that was her first album on Virgin. They weren't going to let us sing anywhere else. You know, but just think about the stuff they did with Janet on that album, and then you think about, so it wouldn't have happened. I mean, they got her for
Perspective,
more money soundtrack. Well, did that come out? What year did that come
92. Out? But she had been signed by then, I think, you know.
Yeah. So almost like just almost like a pre-up that look, just get ready for her. So, all right. Number 9 for me is so this is probably my favorite. Yeah, it is my favorite song on Ralph's album. And so, unfortunately, Ralph occupies 9, 10, 11, and 12.
What all 4 tracks? Ralph?
He's at the bottom. Yes, yeah. Ralph's at the bottom.
Wow, brutal.
But I think what I did like about this track, I think I liked the production, and that was Shaky Ground. That was my. It felt like nice little production. It didn't feel like it could hit the charts, but it's one of those songs when I listened to it, I thought, okay, I actually like the vibe of this, and I thought this could have just been at a minimum. And like the others were nice, but they felt familiar, but this one felt good. So Shaky Ground at number 9, another Ralph written and produced track. Yes. So bye, Ralph.
I'm stunned. I can't believe you put a couple of them so high up. A couple of them have not even made your top 10. I'm stunned, Andy.
Which one was that, Ralph?
You know, like Who's the Mac and
Who's number 10?
I think it would have been dead set for all our top 10s, but what do I know?
Who's the Mac's at number 10? So it's creeped in there. I'm probably no different from when you guys were putting all the Boys to Men tracks at the bottom.
It sounds to me like you've picked like some Bell Biv DeVoe tracks that are going to be shockers here.
I actually, there was some actually when you do listen to the Hootie Mack, I mean they had a lot more tracks, but there were some good ones in there. So
there was a few. There was
some, and remember I tell you I'm a ballad guy, so I was able to find some tracks. But anyway, please.
My number 9 has 2 samples, one from Boogie Down Productions, South Bronx from 1987, and The Emotions Blind Alley from 72, which we've heard on 20 different tracks that we all love. This track is produced by somebody that I thought could do no wrong at the time, Rico Anderson, written by Rico Anderson, Mark Wilson, and Bell Biv DeVoe. It is Above the Rim.
Above the rim, above the rim.
I've got time for that song. There was a fantastic remix of this called the Hanging Remix, and it's Hanging on a String, sample of Loose Ends, and it sounds fantastic. It's only on a white label, but it's brilliant. But
I think it's better than that mix, to be quite honest.
I like this song. I don't know. I like this song. It felt very, very hip hop. And
yes, it is hip hop, backpacker hip hop. I agree.
Yeah,
hip hop. So
was that song meant to be on the Above the Rim soundtrack?
It must have been.
Yeah,
it has to have been.
Yeah.
I think somebody said in the chat that it should have been the lead.
Should have been the lead singer. And my issue was, and Rico has been on the show, so he talks how Mike opened the door for him and stuff. But as I said, it was not Gangster, and it was the lead. It was because Gangster was so it has almost gone out of our conscious. That became like, okay, here's their new single, and then the album drops, and it was like, what is this? And I think if you go back to 93, it just didn't fit into the narrative of what we were expecting them to move on to. And I think that single coming out when it did had a big impact on the whole sales, because we're listening to so much music. If we don't get it off the back, we push it aside, and that really hurt the album until Something in Your Eyes, really made a difference and saved it.
If I can jump in really quick. So remember that remix of Ain't Nothing Changed they did that was on the Boot City album, and it's on the Greatest Hits too. I remember hearing that and going, man, I liked it. And I felt like had they kind of gone more in that direction with it, I think it could have worked. Because Ricky wasn't even on that. That was just Mike and Ron and the great production. Production's everything. And I think that's maybe what was missing, because they had Bomb Squad, they had the PE producers on the first album. So anyhow, I just want to say, there was a path. Unfortunately, they didn't take the path that I think they should have.
They should have had intros to the album. They came out the same year. And if you're talking about hip hop soul, they could have been on that lane. But
could they have hung though? Vocally, I'm not sure, but maybe production wise, yes.
Ricky, Ricky could have. But I'm talking about. You've got the Untouchables beats, which will cater to Ron and Rick and Mike, and then you've got Ricky singing. You don't have to be. No, you can't.
To be fair though, Rick on this album, on some of the tracks, he sounds sublime, and others he sounds shocking, and I don't know what went on. I really don't know what went on.
Yeah, as I said, we love No Audition, we love these guys, but it felt as if we can just put with BBD, we can put anything else. They'll it was
that's what they thought.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, and as a continuation Above the Rim, they did get a consolation prize. They didn't make the soundtrack to Above the Rim, but they made it to an MCA NBA. Remember that NBA compilation?
Oh yes, they were on that. Yeah.
That was a good compilation. That had some interesting stuff.
They had that Rex and Effect Rim Shaker instead of that remix, which was called Rim Shaker.
Nice little consolation prize for them. Anyway, we'll get to my number 9, and we'll stay with Bell Biv DeVoe actually. And I was very happy to be able to include this track, because otherwise I'd have been struggling to find a third Bell Biv DeVoe track to include. So I was very happy we was able to Gangster, the original mix that came out, talking about a female gangster. That was a bit different, wasn't it? She didn't really know, but it turns out it's a female gangster Mac. Not every day you meet a female gangster, is it? That was the good samples in it. I thought it was a solid track for him, really solid. The remixes were good as well on the 12 remix. But unfortunately, they didn't put it on the official album, on the US album. Oh well.
Yeah. And again, just to clarify, like a lot of people have said on these podcasts, and when we've talked about Bell Biv DeVoe and New Edition, they said that Gangster wasn't included on the album. And if you're in the US, of course it wasn't. We know that. If you look on Spotify streaming platforms, Gangster is not included as one of the songs on Hootie Mack. But most other places on the planet had Gangster as one of the songs on there. It was available in Europe, every country in Europe, the UK, Japan. Gangsters on there, so we've included it. Just
I wonder why they just didn't. I don't know if they just thought it had the airplay, it had fresh visibility, it had everything. And why did they drop it so early?
My opinion is because it was embarrassing. It failed. Like, why remind people that we put out a single and no one cared? Not really. Like, it did not. I mean, it didn't. It wasn't Poison. It's almost like every single did a little worse, a little worse, a little worse. But it was like Poison and Do Me were like boom, boom. But then Thought It Was Me was cool. Then Want to See You Smile, and then She's Dope, and then like every single just kept doing worse and worse and worse. And I think for them was like, let's pretend that didn't happen, and let's move forward. And but yeah, what's this?
Like I said, it's one of the CD singles, but it's not. There's no picture cover with it. It's just the back sleeve.
Gangster.
Cool.
Yeah. Instrumental, sweet, and without rap. That's got without rap. Nice little collectible.
But if you don't mind, I can just jump in with my number 9. And my number 9 is produced by Wolf and Epic. And I love the Wolf and Epic productions. You already know, Beach, because they were a huge part of that kind of wacky, different, but funky production that was on the Poison album. We're talking about Word to the Mother, the original and the remix. We're talking about the remix of Do Me, which is my favorite. And then even though I was kind of disappointed with it, even when it came out, because again, the lyrics were like, what? At the same time, when I listened to it just now, I was like, this is kind of like finally a return to the BBD that we remember from 1990. So I'm going to do a little bit of singing here because I got to get that in here. So it kind of goes like, baby, how you doing? Don't want to know your name. You know I got a lot of women. Uh-oh. There ain't a hoe that I claim. Anyway, I know you don't know who I am or if it really matters. I can show you a new kind of pleasure, but I don't have forever. I'm coming to get you. You know I want it straight from the back. Straight back. Yeah. Anyway, Wolf and Epic NGS Imposter is so mean. Anyhow, in the rap, he actually says Vegas. I remember I was walking, on my walk, and Mike goes, Vegas, I'm like, yes, So anyway, that's my number 9. And yes, mother effers, at number 9 is the first appearance by Ricky Bell, Michael Bibbins, and Ronnie DeVoe. So I've named three JG tracks and now 1 DVD track. So Ralph, I have your back.
Straight from the back.
So in a nutshell, Andrew, you're saying that Johnny Gill is like Namdi's Ralph Tresvant.
Yes. Yeah.
Understood. Just setting the tone.
How did you pick that over Cute Sweet Love Addiction, that song?
Because I listened to From the Back way more often,
mate. Absolutely stunned. Now you picked that ahead of above.
Yep.
Andrew, I agree. Stunning track. I'm with you, man. There's a single off it. There's a promo single off it with the album instrumental and sweet, and I think it's such a great, it's fantastic. I think From the Back is wildly underrated. I like that. Very good choice.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So my first entry from Bell Biv DeVoe comes in at number 8.
Wow.
And I wrote down the New Edition song. So there's a song on there, Hootie Mack, that you listen to and you think, oh, this sounds like it could be a New Edition track. Can you guess, Andrew, which track?
God. Man, actually,
I know exactly which you're talking about.
Oh, word? Huh. Yeah. Say it, Steve. Yeah, go for it.
I think he's talking about Please Come Back.
Yes.
Oh.
Bingo.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
listened to it. I thought this sounds like it would have been a New Edition track. Maybe Ralph singing it. It was a beautiful track. I loved it, and it just reminded me of what we missed without them together. But
Fair.
yes, it was that. Yeah, that's how I first said, "Well done, Steve." Yeah,
Yeah.
it just gave me the vibe of New Edition, and that's why I said
An
Ronnie.
amazing
No, not
track,
Ronnie.
stunning track.
Ricky was doing his thing, trying to hit the different range and stuff, and really showcased that actually, yeah, he was one of the
That's
main
the track
people.
he sounds sublime on. I thought he sounded incredible on that.
Yeah.
Singing.
Lovely production. It's so nice. There's
Yeah.
something this great song. Yeah, love. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my number 8. Please come back.
What's he doing at number 8 now? I thought you'd have put that a lot higher, to be quite honest. I really did. I'm stunned again. Absolutely stunned.
It made a list.
I thought
wonder
that'd been
who
a
else
shoo-in.
if anyone else
I
would
thought
have
that'd been a shoo-in up there, And if it's not, if Andrew hasn't picked, I'll be even more dumbfounded.
Should I spoil you or just stay quiet?
No, just save it. Just save it.
I thought again would have been an absolute shoo-in for Andrew Knight. That track. It's almost like the track that they didn't do on Any Heartbreak.
For some reason, and I've been quiet. I think for me there was something missing. Like I felt like that track I saw where they were going with it.
No.
It was like right there, and then you need a little thing on the top, and it just yeah. I liked it. I did, but it was just like it was a nice attempt for me. I don't know, for me. Wow. But someone said, Aunt Jemima, let me butter your pancakes, and I'm like, that is like. I remember that from the back. I actually have Aunt Jemima, let me butter your pancakes. Woo! Boom! Keep track. Anyway, but anyway, NE, please come back. Da, 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 da. Like, yes, I get it.
With that song, I mean, for me, the songs I used to listen to used to be. I used to put a lot of emphasis on who created the song. So who were the writers, who were the producers. And that song, as good as it is, it didn't resonate as much at the time, and wrongly so at the time. I mean, I'd never heard of the producers and writers, Fatin Dantzler and Lionel Cavaness. I've never heard of them. I mean, I don't know anything else that they've done. They did 2 tracks on this, and that was it. But it's a very good song, and I realized as time's gone on that don't just listen to the big writers and the big producers. There's other songs out there. There's music out there that some unknown person's done. So, yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul. All right, Reed, what did you put as number 8? Sorry.
Number 8 already, huh? This song had one sample by Melvin Bliss, Synthetic Substitution from 1973. It's produced by Nathan, Wanya, and Sean, co-produced by Michael, bass, and it is, of course, I Got You. And I think it's fantastic. And it was such an interesting single as well, because on this single alone, there's 16 mixes.
There's got a million mixes, isn't there? It's crazy.
16 mixes. You've got mixes by Chad Elliott and Mopi. You've got Dr. Jam, and you've got Larry Robinson, who were all big remixes around that time. So they had a big budget for this. I Got You is my number 8, and I think it chugs along very nicely. I like this song a lot, and that's my number 8.
Solid.
I'll be honest. I was never. I bought that single. And I remember thinking, I don't even know if I like this. It just sounded like a Boyz II Men reject track to me.
It's a nice mid-tempo, man.
Yeah, it would have. I thought Boyz II Men would have killed it. It's
I love
nice.
that.
Yeah. And I'm surprised he even released it as a single. But like you say, for 16 mixes, value for money. Value.
Did you guys see the video for that track?
No, I need to watch it.
I please watch the video and tell me what it means. That's all I'll say to that. Anyone who's seen the video for I Got You, you guys know what I'm talking about. Just tell me what they were going for.
All right, we'll do that after. Zay, thank you. Fatin Dantzler, that's the husband of Kindred, the family soul. I did not know that. That's a connection. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's probably why we all like it.
Hive mind, baby. Love it.
Stevie, what did you get for number 8?
Number 8, going back to Ralph Tresvant, to one of his mellow moments. I do really like this. He's he's really gets deep down, and that's Your Touch. Really deep track that. You picked it number. What did you pick at number? You selected
12.
it, Namdi. Number 12.
It made the top 12.
It made the top 12. Fair play. He had a bit higher up. Should it have been above Gangster and Master Sweet? That's debatable. That is debatable. But I just think it's what he does well, Ralph, that track, what he does really well. And it worked for him. And I think it worked on the album. So number 8, Your Touch, Ralph Tresvant.
All right. Well, I'm not going to break the Ralph Tresvant streak. Finally, at number 8, my boy, Ralph Tresvant makes his first appearance. I'm going to attempt this song. For a while, I tried to play it cool, but you got me feeling like I should break the rules. And I've gotta tell you what's been on my mind. Cause even a man that's sensitive gotta wet it up sometimes. So anyway, the chorus goes, low down dirty sensation, can no longer hide from temptation. Baby, let's get it on. I give all I got. You can twist and turn, but I'll find it your G-spot. G-spot. Number 8, Ralph T. Can I get that? Baby,
Wow.
yo,
Very nice.
that Kit Kat. Can I get it good? Give it to me, baby. All right, cool. Sorry.
Another terrible chorus.
Lyrically,
lyrically, it's building up really well, and then when you drop that, it's like, oh no, how bad is
also
that?
so it's not on brand, and that was the issue. We'll talk about it more. But like, yeah, you went from Mr. Sensitivity. He says even a man that's sensitive gotta wet it up sometime. Like ease into that. Don't like just shock us with like a different side of your personality. I think that's important. But anyway, I've taken up too much time.
I mean, you just picking Ralph because you like Ralph. It's like, and to be fair, it's like how I am with Teddy. And he could do no wrong. But when I do these lists, I don't look at the writers or producers, so I don't get biased. So I pick the songs, then I go back and look at the writers and producers and say, okay, fair enough. I mean, Johnny did better on my list than Ralph, that's for sure. And number 7 is, I think these guys did better at getting those hits for Johnny. And this was a combination of LA, Darryl Simmons, and Kenny and Edmonds. And it was one of those songs where you hear it and you're like, it's I'll Make Love to You, kind of wave your candles in the air. They follow that same formula, but it works. And it's a long way from home. And yes, it's L.A. Reid, Kenny, and Darryl, all 3 of them writing and producing this. Now, heads up, I interviewed John Robinson. Yes, was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. And he was in the studio when they were doing this song on Provocative. And that was the last time that LA and Babyface worked together on this album.
Was that the last song? I knew
Pardon?
It was some point in '93. I just didn't know when.
Yeah,
it was.
He says this was it. And yes, it was this. Yeah, he was in the studio when they were doing this. But he says that LA. He says that LA added so much more to Face's production that we give him credit for.
100%, man.
LA was a better producer. Face was the best writer, but LA with that combination, and I think people, forget just what he brought to the table. But having them together on this stuff, long way from home. I liked Johnny's album a lot better. I think I love the songs. They weren't the first album or the third album, but they were nice. So that's my my number 7, Long Way From Home.
My number 7 is as one sample. This sample shows up a lot on almost every single podcast. It's James Brown's Funky President, People It's Bad from 1974. This song's also produced and written by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I think this was them trying to recreate Rub You the Right Way remix. And I get what they were trying to do. But as Andrew, you've already pointed out when you were talking about Where No Man Has Gone Before, I think this production style was a little later in the day than what was actually happening musically. So and I think it's very good, but still, I think it's just a little late. And that is number 7, Johnny Gill, The Floor.
Did it not sound like Rub You the Right Way trying to part 2? It just, it felt similar, but it didn't feel. I think the trick was already out the bag the first time, so then coming back and doing the dance song at the first time, I don't know if it worked as much and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. That's what it was. And I think just wanted to comment. Tyso Rhodes just mentioned about the song by Rick James, 17, and you couldn't have said a more perfect sentence than what you've written there. It's fantastic production, but sometimes the lyrics I think as time goes on, trends change, acceptable behavior is different back then to now. I mean, 17 by Rick James is incredible. I mean, I love that song, but you're right. It's singing about what it's singing about. So, yeah. Johnny Gill, The Floor, my number 7. Let's move on.
Stevie.
I think Knight made a really good point earlier, and you just touched upon it there. But what I feel about Jam and Lewis's New Jack Swing production sound by 92, 93, a bit like Teddy Riley's. If you compare Teddy's, dare I say, GR production sound between 88 and 90, it completely changed by about 92 when he did Tammy Lucas and Bubba. It's the same with Jam and Lewis. The sounds that they were doing on the Rhythm Nation album, the Heartbreak album, by 92, what they did with the Mo Money, with Karen White, I think they completely ripped that script up, completely new drum sounds, and I was really into it. I mean, it was helped with Professor T from Low Key. I thought they brought the Low Key guys in there, and I think they helped him out a lot as well to give that sound something a bit different. But I like The Floor by Johnny Gill. It wasn't as, I think song wise, it wasn't as big as Rub You the Right, nowhere near as big as Rub You the Right Way. But as a production, that Moog, it's killer groove, absolute killer.
Yeah, it is.
But I thought the Floor should be in my chart. I mean, I picked it over the more stronger ballads, but I just listened to it a lot of the time. I enjoyed it, and there's some great remixes as well, weren't there? Some, was it Kenny, who did the remix? There's some Untouchables mixes, weren't there? Which were even more better at the time. But yeah, The Floor, Johnny Gill, is at number 7 for me.
Oh, same. I think that's the first song we've had where two people agreed with the number there. That's impressive. Let's clap for that. Yeah, that's great.
Maybe not, maybe not. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. So my next selection is the final appearance by Johnny Gill. And
Scandalous.
This is
scandalous.
Already.
Final appearance. But when I was listening to the song, I played it twice. And that song reminded me a bit of New Edition, because at the end, it kind of goes like, see. Whoa, why do you guys hear that feedback?
Yeah. I'm not sure what the.
Anyways, so I'm not going to sing now because there's an echo, but Secret's My Darling, Make It Okay, which sounds like Hold On My Darling, like by the end of Sensitivity. So that's there. And then Johnny goes, whoa, 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 like that, which is just like Whoa, from Can't Stand the Rain. So that song is indeed Master Suite. I think that song is dope. It's actually his strongest ballad, in my opinion. I know there's others who might say, like, I Know Where I Stand or whatever, but for me, it sounded more Disney and just very orchestral and just it was just too much. But Master Suite just locks you in a groove, and it's just very much like, I can make it all right, I can make it okay. And I was just like, that one I would actually love to see New Edition actually cover. I think that song is too good to have been buried on a album that didn't do so well. It's very jam and Lewis. Love that song.
Okay. But what part did you mention about New Edition?
Oh well, literally he does a little run that goes whoa, like that right there is like a little nod to Can't Stand the Rain with his little section right there, and then secrets, my darling, sounds like a lot like the end of Sensitivity where he goes, hold on, my darling, make it okay, yeah. Like Johnny and Ralph are kind of like mirroring each other in that track, and they're both Jam and Lewis tracks. I don't think it's an accident, and I loved it.
Okay. It's now we're number 6. And for me, let me see now. Yeah, I put in Gangster at number 6. I don't know if it's the nostalgia of seeing them on Fresh Prince. Watched the video and I thought, okay, I thought the video compared to what they did in the album, I thought it was really good. But I do wonder. At the time, I actually thought it was. At the time, I did think it was definitely a good track, and but I was surprised it disappeared and reappeared later on. But I thought Gangster, Spider-Man and Freeze, they had the same formula and everything. So, as with Poison, but you just can't replicate a track like Poison. It's really hard. So that's it. Number 6, Gangster.
All right. My number 6 was another Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis written and produced track. It was a single. It is Ralph Tresvant's Who's the Mac, and I think this is brilliant. It's a great song, great up tempo. That's my number 6. That's all I have to say about it. It's very good. It's very good. It's a very good song. I listened to it a fair bit. More in recent years, I have to admit. I didn't listen to it so much back then, but I've grown to appreciate it much more in recent years.
Okay, Stevie.
My number 6, I think, only came out as a single in the UK, possibly Europe. I'm not even sure if they released it as a single in the United States. There was some remixes which I don't think it was good as the album mix, but this in my first draft made my top 5. It's ended up falling back to number 6, which I'm not too happy about because it is a great track. But it's Johnny Gill's "A Cute Sweet Love Addiction."
Okay.
Fantastic. Like I did.
Yeah, I had 6 mixes on there, I think.
Yeah. I didn't think it was as good as the album mix, but
the album.
That's always an ode to classic Motown. And I thought it was a great upbeat, happy track. It's a surprising track for Johnny that, and I don't think the US picked up on it. I don't know why, and ran with it. I don't know why they didn't run with that track. Interesting though.
Yeah. Okay. Now, goodness, Andrew, what's number 6?
Sorry for those who hate it when I sing, but I have to. My self-expression. My number 6 goes a little something like this. Sitting here all alone in the studio at night, waiting for inspiration for a song I've yet to write. Suddenly the lights dim and I strain my eyes. I see 2 silhouettes looking fine. Well, any friend of yours can be a friend of mine. Sexo, stereo, You know the scenario. Lights low, studio, intro to Rizzo. Four hands rub me, four arms hold me in, four lips kiss me, four legs wrapped around me. Sexo by Ralph Tresvant at number 6. And I actually do think that Jam and Lewis finally kind of saved the album. A lot of percussion, a lot of instrumentation. It was sparse. And yeah, I think that it was definitely a valiant effort by Jam and Lewis again to kind of give the album a good close. So I liked it.
Wow, could anything have saved the album? I just, yeah.
It was an attempt. It was an
How many,
attempt.
how many Ralph tracks have you picked now? Is that 2 or 3?
That is 2.
This is blind bias, man. Blind bias, just putting those songs there. They had no business.
It's subjectivity, man.
Yeah,
like what did I listen to over the years? So.
Top five, and this is where it gets interesting for me. This song has already been picked by Andrew, and I really, it was my second highest BBD track, and it's From the Back. It brought memories of the first Poison album. It brought memories of What It Was Me.
Say that again, Nanny. Go on, say that again.
That was a surprise. I was not
stunned. Absolutely.
It brought. I listened to it, and it brought memories of Sorrow Was Me.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was more of the sound, the production, and Wolf and Epic. They very rarely do wrong when it comes to working with production tracks. They did stuff. Is that the one with they did stuff with on Ralph's debut album?
Oh yes, they did. Ordinary Guy, Public Figure.
Yeah. With the whip, like I'm just an ordinary. I mean, they're good producers. So I loved the track. Then I looked at the credits and says, okay, it makes sense. It made sense that they definitely good producers. But yes, BBD at number 5, From the Back.
Nice.
Apparently that's a very big track. Still gets played in the gay bars of San Francisco.
And guess where Stevie's going for Christmas? So if you see him up in San Francisco, say hi. Beach.
So my number 5, it's been mentioned in this podcast already. Produced by Carl Borelli, co-produced by Jacques Kennedy, Louis Carr Jr., Mark Wilson, and yes,
wow,
it is my number 5, and I think it's the production.
Yes, the production is dope. It is.
Just shush. If you don't like it, I don't care, man. It's my choice. My number 5. Bell Biv DeVoe's Lovely is at number 5. I love it. Number 5. I just love the production. The production's fantastic.
No, it is. The production is good. As a song.
Yeah, but hold on. If you're going to knock a track because of lyrics, you should never talk about Poison ever again, man. Just don't talk about that song ever again.
Right.
Don't.
Poison.
No, but it's the same thing.
Backstage, adolescence.
I just don't do it, because Lovely is number 5, and I understand it's
actually,
but I had to put it in there. I think
controversial pick.
I thought you were going to do Please Come Back to Me. I thought that was what
that should have been
the same
there.
producers.
But yeah,
I understand. I will defend your selection. I understand. I think the production was great. Yeah.
And I understand, Stevie. I understand your concerns about this song selection. But there are certain people that are unavailable, and they create incredible singer, songwriter, producer. Yeah, it's one of those ones. Bell Biv DeVoe, Lovely. The end of my review of that, comments on that.
It made my honorable mention, so that's why I brought it up early. So, go ahead, Stevie.
Number 5 was going back to Ralph Tresvant. This is my 1, 2. Is this my third? Yeah, this is my third, but not my final pick for Ralph. And it's Who's the Man. I thought it was a great little track. This. Did it officially come out as a single? I know it was promoed.
In the US, it did.
But didn't. There was no. Again, why didn't they just sit? Make a video?
No, there was a video. There's a video for Who's the Mac. There is.
There?
Yeah.
There is. What am I talking about?
There's a video, and like I had the CD single and everything, and yeah, like the US, we weren't feeling it. I liked it, but the US was like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay.
This was strong enough.
Yeah, that's the one I have. But yeah, I mean, it was a cassette single. I could dig it out somewhere.
I never saw that. I never saw that before. I didn't know there was an actual release copy. I know the promo copy, Stevie. I didn't know they'd released it.
As a matter of fact, that came out before the album. So I remember, I want to say it came out in like December '93.
Wow.
Okay.
Is it a CD single? Yeah, with a cover on.
Well, I had a cassette single.
It's only on cassette and CD. I think the others are promos.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a CD single from Japan.
Interesting.
Apparently, it only came out on cassette in the US.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That sounds right.
That's mad. But hey.
Okay. Okay. So,
Number
Andrew.
5. So, believe it or not, when the Bell Biv DeVoe album came out, this song stood out. And I thought it absolutely should have been a single. And I thought it was actually probably one of the only songs I felt could have fit the changing of the times. Music was funner back then. I mean, music was fun in the 90s, like in like 1990, 89, 91. By 93, 94, it was getting more serious. So when you're talking about, I haven't seen you for a while, and now you say you have my child, and even though it's been a year, I still want to have you. And like, you know, girl, I want my baby to stay right here with me. I don't want nobody else to raise my child. I'll step up, be a man, and do all I can. It was a very melancholy, like, just, it was a different song. And it was like a very serious song. Even the beat, everything about it. Ish, hitting skins and the hat pops. Pushed in the bush, came a big fat nut. Like, I mean, it was just like, you know, I got the fever all through my body. 3 days later, gotta tell my hottie, her love for me, I would truly miss. I took 2 to the booty so I won't be dickless. Because he's talking about getting like burned, like he has an STD. I think that it's a socially conscious song. And while Show Me the Way, I think was their attempt to be socially conscious, I was like, whack. Why is that a single? Sorry, Brandon. I love you. But so Situation was some real ish. And I just hope that maybe in this podcast, people will actually give it another listen. So Situation by Bell Biv DeVoe is my number 5. And I think it is sorely, sorely overlooked. I love that song.
Great song. Number 12. Actually, I did make
Great song.
Yeah, made my honorable mentions, but it didn't get into the. Oh, wait a minute.
What makes me happiest about this is, Andrew, you are talking lovingly about a song on Hootie Mack. It makes me so happy.
And for the record, I would call it Hootie Whack to be just chagrin. So no, like yeah. Actually, the album has aged with me a lot better.
That's good. That's it. This exercise was worthwhile just for that. Brilliant.
All right.
Okay.
Fortunately, it hasn't aged for me that well. I'll be honest.
No.
Did you listen to it a lot back then, Hootie Mack? TV, did you?
Yes, yeah. I did. I didn't even realize about Lovely. I mean, that was one of my favorite tracks at the time. I think now it's like I just can't even listen to it. Yeah, but if you like, I better stop talking. This conversation it's a thread. If you pull it, the whole cloth's got to unwind, man. It's going to be fun. We're all going to be naked, man. Let's not do that.
No, let's not do that.
Let me see. Okay, so number 4 for me. I'm just seeing. Oh goodness, yeah. I think I don't know. I've been listening to this track, and I thought it could have been higher up, but then it's hard to see it. But it was. I really loved this track. It was very interesting to see. Now this is what. Um, so R.I.P. to Questlove Supreme podcast, because although if you ever listen to it, although he can get annoying when somebody Fontiglo will ask a question to the guest, and he will say, "Okay, before you answer that," he'll then throw another question, and then it's like, "Wait a minute, but we want to hear Fontiglo's question." But he interviewed Boys to Men, and one of the things that they said was that they were not given the opportunity to produce other people because they just didn't feel it was good for their brand. And it does seem weird when you see the writers and producers with all the Boys Men names. They probably could have just had, I don't know, maybe they could have just had a collective production company that doesn't really look like it's Boys to Men. Maybe it could have been B2M Productions or something like that. But I got you to see vocalists like Boys to Men writing and producing for somebody like Johnny Gill. I felt that they just nailed it. They got it. I think they knew when to tell Johnny, okay, slow down and go up, singing on the chorus with him as well. I thought it was just a lovely song, and I'm like, man, I wish they had done more production. I wish they were allowed to produce more stuff. But they said it was hard to get that done by Motown. They didn't want them to do it, and people didn't respect them. In fact, this was the fight they had on their second album, where they were writing more, and the label like, no, we need to get in Dallas or somebody to make it more believable and stuff, and the frustrations they had with the label and as being taken seriously as producers. But on the back of this track, I'm like, man, they could have done so much more. So I got you, written and produced by Boys to Men, from Johnny's album, is at number 4 for me.
Interesting. Wow. Number 4.
Okay.
Nice choice, man. And I was going to say something like Namdi will like this fact more than anybody else. But Andrew, do you remember when me and you interviewed Sean Stockman?
Of course.
Do you remember what he did with his music? Do you remember what he said?
That part I do not. Refresh my memory.
So Sean Stockman said he likes creating music, and whenever he creates any music, his biggest influence is Teddy Riley. And he said, whatever songs I create, there's a little element of Teddy Riley in everything I do. And I thought that was just such a big ode to Teddy, a big honor to Teddy. And I think it was lovely for Sean to say that. Like, it was just nice. Very, very cool.
Sean has a very big picture mentality, and I love that about him. And I think it's no surprise really, but it's a nice surprise to see him doing what he's doing now. But
amazing.
He's always seen the bigger picture, and I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, that was for you, Namdi. Seeing as you're a big Teddy Riley fan, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, although I can't just on that. So John, it was a 2-hour interview. He said that one of the things that Teddy does is that Teddy will give you all the plugins and tell you all the stuff that he uses, and he just shares freely. Now, Tony Rich said the same thing, that Teddy was, and other producers have said the same thing, that Teddy would just say, yeah, this is what I'm using, get this plugin. And John says, why are you so generous with your sounds and secrets? And Teddy says, because no matter what you get, you can never do what I do.
Yeah, that's it.
But he said it not like you can never do my stuff. He said, because you will interpret this stuff the way it's called for you. So it wasn't like you can't. I can tell you what I'm using because you've never been good. No, it was more like we're all very different in how we create. So it doesn't matter what I show you. You're never going to do the way I do, and I can't do the way you do. So that's why I don't need to, hide it. And so I remember Terry Lewis saying that Teddy was the technical guy, the guy who was into the computers and the sounds and stuff. So yeah, just adding that. But go ahead, read. Oh no, who's this?
Yes, me.
Yes,
So
Steve.
that's a big lesson, though. What you've just said there, like you have the skill, you have the tools, and you're just sharing information freely, and you don't care because you know how much of a badass you are. That's it. There's a big lesson there. There is, and it's something there for all of us to learn. If we don't know that already, have belief in yourself. And my number 4 is written by Shonda Crabble, Bell Biv DeVoe, and Wolf and Epic, and it's produced by Wolf and Epic. It is Bell Biv DeVoe's From the Back. What a song, man! What a song, man!
Shake your body.
I forgot how good this song was, and I just did that this week. I was going to put another promo-only single. I was going to add "Show Me the Way." I know, Andrew, you said you thought that single was not good, but once I heard this, I was like, no, this is got to be well up there, and it made my number 4, and I think it deserves to be much more recognized than it is, and it would have made a good single, I think.
So check this out. There is a Bell Biv DeVoe's Greatest Hits album that came out in 1990 or whatever, but these are the Hootie Mack album songs on it, and From the Back isn't on there. Like, what? Check this out. They have Gangsta, cool. Above the Rim, cool. Something in Your Eyes, cool. Nickel, cool. Something. Show Me the Way. It's a mess up on Apple Music. Show Me the Way, then Hootie Mack, and then Ghetto Booty, right? But no From the Back. Like, what is wrong? Who put this together? Anyway, so to me, it's like, it makes me feel good that it wasn't just me. Like, all of us has mentioned From the Back. And I think that's like,
I haven't.
Except Stevie. Stevie doesn't like it.
Okay.
Because he's talking about movies, man.
Not yet.
He said at the beginning, this
Cringe is a cringe chorus. So cringe. Cringe.
I mean, it is, but the beat is undeniable.
Fantastic. It's brilliant. I love it. And I don't understand those song choices for a greatest hits. They're not greatest hits. I mean,
especially Ghetto Booty. That song is terrible. I'm sorry, to me it is. But my God.
I don't know what's happened. I don't know what. Yeah. Maybe they ran out of tracks. They thought they've got to fill it up with something. But then if you can't put 15 tracks on, put 10 tracks and just make sure they're amazing. That's it.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever.
Number 4, it's my 3rd choice for Bell Biv DeVoe. It's a track that sounds very different to anything else on the album. It's a great song, great production. I'm not sure if it was wasted on him, and I'm not sure if Babyface was the right sound for them, but they still did a great track. In my first draft, it was at number 1, but I've ended up putting back to number 4, probably because I listened to these other tracks more, but Something in Your Eyes has made my number 4. I think it's a great track. It could have been, if someone's got it number 1, I totally understand. I get it, but it's a great song, brilliant song.
Yeah, amen to that.
Probably the best song on the album, if I'm honest. It is the best song on the album.
Yeah, I'll have more to say about that one.
Probably the best song on the album.
So my number 4, I'll keep this one short, is this album came out I want to say January of 93. I love eggnog. I don't know if you guys love eggnog, but I love eggnog. And I have associations. Eggnog is sweet, it's refreshing, it's creamy, and this song is sweet, refreshing, and creamy. And that song, of course, is When I Need Somebody, the album version at number 4. Nice, simple, sweet, Jam and Lewis, and strong showing at number 4.
I'm surprised that's not your number 1.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't make number 1 for you.
Maybe you'll be surprised at what is number 1.
Top three. So yeah, this was probably the song I think could have been as close as My for Johnny Gill. And I think this was a grower. I think there was such I think that they really got Johnny, and maybe because Babyface and LA went doing production on this. But Tell Me How You Want It. It is just such a vibe. So it was written by Darryl Simmons and Ken and Babyface, and was produced by KO and Darryl Simmons. And it's the backing vocals. I wonder if Karen White was still doing the backing. No, she wouldn't have, because they weren't allowed to work with her. But man, it is such an amazing track. It's the kind of track that would have made my number one. Had the other two just edged it out slightly, but it was I just thought this is why Johnny was I had believed had the better album out of the three, because he got the right people who know how to write and produce and get the best out of him. So Tell Me How You Want It. I don't know why it's so low at number 7 on the album, but it was such a beautiful track. So that's my number 3.
I love that you've included that. And I just share this. You're the only person that included that in their list. And I don't understand that. It's such a brilliant song. I don't understand it. It's so good.
It's a great song.
Fantastic song, man. I'm so glad you chose it, man. So high as well. My number 3 is written and produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. We talked about Jam and Lewis's production, their new style, as they called it, on Mo Money. That New Jack style, them trying to recreate the New Jack sound, was a little later in the day. But this song, and you got to remember, like back then it might have been too late. But listening to that in 2025, this song is stunning. And my number 3 could easily have been my number 1. And I don't think anybody will put it as high as I have. They haven't, because if they put it, it's been lower. Unless Namdi sneaks it in there, I don't know. It's Where No Man Has Gone Before. And I think it's absolutely stunning.
Awesome.
It's a killer tune. And I think that it just works so well. And if this was released in 92, maybe it might have had a different feel to it. It could have been a great single, but I think 93 was probably a little late for this.
Yeah.
But 2025, I'll listen to this all day. I'll listen to that song 10 times in a row, and I'll still have the same smile on my face. Brilliant.
Yeah, beautiful track. I know Ralph signed with the worst management company out there that was busted. There was a track on his album that sounds like Pumps and a Bump. Which one was it? Can
You Remember Me.
Okay.
Remember me, you'll remember me someday. And I actually like it now. I get where he was going. I think it was kind of like that song was ahead of its time. I think it was it was funky. But back then, I was so confused by it. I was like, "What is this? This has nothing to do with."
Oh yeah,
that's the one with Roger Troutman, right?
Yeah. So it sounded. I just said, "Yeah, that's Pumps and a Bump." You know, it just had the
sample more bounce to the ounce. Yeah, that's where you hear the Roger Troutman in there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So really good call, Stevie. What is number 3 for you?
I got a snap with EJ at number 3. I got Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Nice.
It's the one track that I absolutely hammered, played it to death back then, and that's my final That is my final Johnny Gill inclusion. That was my favorite track on the album. But I do realize now some of them ballads are absolute. I've got to go back to them. The Killers.
They're so good.
You pick Namdi's a killer. You know, so 3 or 4. But that was my favorite track from the Johnny album back then. Brilliant Jam and Lewis. The lately bass, that lately New Jack, very similar to the New Jack tracks on Karen White's 3rd album, which didn't get as much love as the other 2, but there's some great tempos on that Karen White that sound like that production. So
yeah, exactly.
If only Jam. What was the Jam and Lewis track on the Mo Money called for Ralph. Which one was?
My money can't buy me love.
Why
Or money
did
can't
they
buy
use
you
that
love.
production on Ralph's album for the new Jack the Up? You know,
100%.
oh, did
Yes.
it blow us
Yeah.
away? Did it
Yes.
absolutely blow us away with that sound?
1,000%.
And
Like-
also, I think somebody mentioned it before, is Yo Baby Yo. Even that,
Oh, yeah.
at least those songs made you feel something. You know,
Yeah,
you felt something.
Although it was the version that you hear in House Party 2, I think was superior to what came out. I don't know why. Anyways, Ralph, I love you, but I feel there's so many like, man, I wish different things were chosen, you know, because I just feel like, yeah, like that was dope. Why can't we buy that version? Anyhow, it's up. And what do you know? My number 3 is indeed a Ralph track again. And what I'm not even going to say what I'm going to say because I want to kind of keep the suspense going. No, I'll say it. It is Ralph's final appearance on my list. It is his final appearance, and I want to sing this one, but it's hard to sing, so I'm not going to sing it. But I'm just going to like basically talk about how Ralph and Marvin Gaye have had this kind of thematic relationship ever since. Like Sensitivity totally had a lot of what's going on. No, it's Make Me Wanna Holler, whatever that song. There's samples of that song in Sensitivity in the remix. Then Do What I Gotta Do has a lot of, actually that's, anyway, even at the Home Again concert, Ralph comes out to like just do like Marvin Gaye thing, right? So Who's the Mac is very much, it's a Marvin Gaye song to me. It's like all those backgrounds, you know, the vocals coming in and out, the vocal stacking. It was an ambitious song. I think that when we think of someone like Mr. Sensitivity, you don't think about a Mac, right? And I think that was the issue. Like it's kind of a clashing of personas, and that's probably, maybe you really are a Mac, like, right? But that's just not the brand that we were sold in New Edition, and certainly not your first album. So I think it was a little jarring. And I think the song was a little too complex for radio back then. I think radio was stripped down. Listen, Come and Talk to Me. It's just like a bass line, vocals. This had all sorts of things going on in it, but I still appreciate it. I still listen to it. I still love it. And that's why it's number 3. I've talked a whole damn lot, but that's to make up for the fact I'm not going to sing it. But go deep inside your love, I feel it running. I'll keep it coming. Didn't I turn you on? Anyway, great song, and I love it, and that's that. Thank you, guys.
And Andrew, you mentioned Marvin Gaye. I just wanted to show you some T-shirt I've got underneath this.
Boom! I love it. Synchronicity, baby.
So Johnny Gill also had that record-breaking version of My, which was a nod to Marvin
Very
Gaye.
Marvin, yes.
Yeah. So Marvin is very much in their consciousness.
Yeah. Amen.
Okay, so down to the final 2, and at number 2 for me, out of a total of 33 or 34 tracks, the one track that sounds like it could have been an Uptown Records track makes my number 2. And I listened to this, and I'm thinking that this, you know, there was that Uptown sound, you know, every little thing you do and all that stuff. And I'm sure you guys would know if I say which song out of all the whole stuff we've gone through is the Uptown track. Which would you think it is?
I think it'd be Above the Rim.
Above the Rim. Wow. Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's
wow.
Okay. That's an Uptown track. That's an Uptown production.
Yes.
That is.
You tell him, Namdi.
That is. I mean, I'm listening. I'm like, man, Jam and Lewis. You know, I mean,
that track. I'm shocked.
No, I mean, it was the. I mean, there were elements of Love Can't Buy Me and Money Can't Buy Me Love, but it was just a little bit. It was almost like they went back to their All Right days with Janet. All right, because I just love the extended mix on that. But I was pleasantly surprised that they did this production. Because it didn't sound like what they did, but they also got Johnny in a pocket. Don't go all over the place. I wonder if they had released it as a single, if he would have hit it as well. I don't know. I don't know if people would have been used to it because that was his attempt to do New Jack, but it worked, and it's my second. It was my highest Johnny Gill, and it got to number 2. I know you guys both had it at number 3,
Great,
but
great,
I really
great.
gave it some flowers with that.
Wow.
So tell me how you want it was really, I really love that track, but this edged it to me. This edged it to me. So that's it. That's it.
Number 2.
Very nice. My number 2 was a single. It was produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, written by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. The remix was by somebody called Steve Dubin. Very odd. I'd never heard of him before. Fantastic remix. But my number 2 is my last entry by Ralph Tresvant, and it is When I Need Somebody. I listen to this song a lot. I love this 12-inch. My 12-inch is worn out. I've listened to it that much, and this could. My number 3 was Where No Man Has Gone Before. That could easily have been my number 1. When I Need Somebody could easily have been my number 1.
Great choice.
That's my number 2.
Hey, Paul.
My number 2, surprise everything. Out of everything I've said about the Bell Biv DeVoe album, they've actually reached number 2. I actually think best track on the album. I hold my hands up. Back then, I did not listen to this track. It's like more or less near the end of the album. Probably because it was a ballad. I didn't give it the time of day, and I don't know why. Because this is just an absolute stunning track. It harks back to Janet's comeback. I think it's the most. It's them. This track's them. It's the most new edition sounding track on the album. It's a complete revelation as to why I didn't listen to this album back then, and for some reason, it's made it all the way to number 2. Even though I listen to all the tracks a lot more, but I think this is one of their best tracks ever now. But it's Bell Biv DeVoe, Please Come Back.
Wow.
Wow.
Well done. Nice.
The revelation of listening to these is rediscovering this track. Is just blown me away. Unbelievable track.
Yeah, as you said, we don't really know the producers, but it was they captured the essence of a new edition on that, and they did it.
They totally got it.
Yeah. Okay.
And Andrew's shaking his head, thinking, "Why didn't I pick that track?"
No, I'm going to be like very much, I think, attacked for this next choice. Maybe we'll find out. This next track was actually absolutely one of the only tracks I liked back then, and I still like now. It was produced by a producer who ended up doing stuff for Immature and B2K. So I feel like this is an early production by this individual by the name of Chris Stokes. And he went on to do lots of bigger things than this track. So that's why I think, to me, this track I'm about to name was almost, in my opinion, the closest thing to trying to hang with how music was at that point. And one of my favorite lines from the track, just because, I was a young kid and I definitely wanted to be the dude, get all the girls. So when Ronnie says, "As I inhale some 20 seconds from the initial hit," I'm like, blitz in a pit of honey dips. What a visual. All macked out, looky low, but don't trip, yo. Nickel, intro to hydro, bop, bop, bop. And you got like, who's banging in between the sheets? I did another nickel bag just last week. I'm not a rapper, but that's Lusky Carr, Lusky from like the Soul Train dancer, So nickel, dun 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 dun. Like even that's a sample from the Doomy remix. Like it's just like, yes, finally some swagger. The album opens with that track, and then all of a sudden, no disrespect to Above the Rim, but you start like that, and then you know, like it starts rough. You know, yeah, I get it. It's like, you know. Anyways, I'm shutting. Nickel is number 2 by Bell Biv DeVoe.
Great choice, man. And interesting about that song, I think they were heavily influenced by Dr. Dre's Ethel Rothsagging album.
Oh yes,
Nickel. It's got to be a Funkadelic or some Fred Wesley sample. That
yes,
that piano thing's got to be. Sure, it is.
I have to look it up. Aaliyah used that same sample on that, you know, that "Come Back in One Piece" with DMX.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to go from number 12 to number 1. Touch at number 12 by Ralph. When I Need Somebody at number 11 by Ralph. Who's the Mac? Number 10 by Ralph. On Shaky Ground by number 9 by Ralph. Please Come Back, Bell Biv DeVoe at number 8. Long Way From Home, Johnny Gill at number 7. Gangster, BBD at number 6. From the Back, BBD at number 5. I Got You, Johnny at number 4. Tell Me How You Want It by Johnny at number 3. Where No Man Has Gone Before by Johnny at number 2. And the song that helped this album go gold. The song that I'm sure took half their budget. But it was the only song after this album that they do play in concerts right now. It's the only track that kind of gave it was their version of Weak on a Rain, and it is Something in Your Eyes. Dun, 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 dun. And it was an instant hit. It helped the album. It's the only reason the album, as I said, went gold, because nothing else saved the album, and this one had some staying power. It only made number 38 on the album on the Billboard 100, but as I mentioned, it was the one that had the staying power, and as I mentioned, it was the one that they still sing now with why do you tell me why you I can't remember the song now.
When Will I See You Smile?
Tell me why I don't see you smile again. Yeah. So it is but they sing it on tour, and John and Ricky really, he really comes into his own when he's singing it and stuff. So yes, number 1 is Something in Your Eyes.
Wow, nice choice, man.
Half the budget, but it was worth it.
And it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, it was as soon as we started this stuff, I put it at number 1 to see, and then it was like, who else can come close? Now Johnny came close with 2 of his tracks, but that was the only song that anyone that really had an impact on the charts that people will look back and remember. That was the only one I can think of.
Can we? I just gotta jump in here. Okay, so really quick, and it's relevant. Okay, first of all, they were the backup singers of New Edition. They were the ones that everyone said, "Oh yeah," like they didn't let Ricky sing that much, right? Like in the beginning, right? Yet here we are at number 1, and it reminds me of a quote that the actor Bill Murray said, right, in this documentary about John Candy. He says here, "I don't think people today realize how bad you have to be in order to be a perfectionist. You have to be bad and know you're bad, because there's nothing like being really bad to make you want to be better." Now, I'm not saying that Bell Biv DeVoe were like perfectionists, but I do think that they had that hunger to really like show people, yo, we have talent too. And I think they did the damn thing between Poison, and clearly they're showing on this list right here. So I just wanted to give props to Ricky, Ronnie, and Mike. Y'all, props, motherfuckers. Sorry, I cursed.
I mean, they couldn't have gone back to do the Home Again album if they didn't. I mean, so they went quadruple platinum with their debut album. Then the second album went gold. So it didn't do the numbers it should have, but they still could hold their own. That look, we put out some big tracks. I think unfortunately Ralph didn't even go. It flopped badly, and I think he didn't do anything for another 20 years before he put out another album. Johnny was always consistent because he got the right people. He didn't mess around. Motown gave him the budget, and so yeah. But yeah, something in your eyes definitely. Babyface did his thing for them. All right, Reed.
M Mac, you just wrote that you put A Quiet Time to Play. We need to find a way for you to send me your lists, man, because what a choice! And I'm so glad that somebody has put A Quiet Time to Play so high up, because it's a really good song. So yeah, just wanted to say that. And Stevie, the nickel sample that you were talking about was Parliament. It's the noise devoid of funk. Pay Attention, B3M from 1977.
Yeah, I figured it might have been something along the lines.
My list, number 12, Ralph Tresvant, Sexo. Number 11, Johnny Gill, Cute Sweet Love Addiction. Number 10, Ralph Tresvant, Booty Affair, The Booty Affair. Number 9, Bell Biv DeVoe, Above the Rim, Andrew's favorite. Number 8, Johnny Gill, I Got You. Number 7, Johnny Gill, The Floor. Number 6 was Ralph Tresvant's Who's the Mac. I forgot to mention the samples before on Bell Biv DeVoe's Lovely, which is my number 5. Soul to Soul featuring Ross Windross, Fair Play from 1988. Mandrill, Lord of the Golden Baboon from 1972, and James Brown's Funky President, People It's Bad from 74. Number 4 was Bell Biv DeVoe's From the Back. Number 3 was Where No Man Has Gone Before. Number 2 is Ralph Tresvant's When I Need Somebody. My number 1 had 4 samples. One from Chicago Gangsters, Gangster Boogie from 75. Fred Wesley and the JBs, Blow Your Head from 74. Rufus and Chaka Khan, You Got the Love. Stevie will appreciate this very much. It also has a sample from the Stone Roses, Fool's Gold. This song was first featured on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind. My excitement level was through the roof because I was all about those first 2 Bell Biv DeVoe albums, the Poison album and then the WBBD Boot City album. So when this song came out, produced by Dr. Freeze and Spider-Man, I am all over this. I love it. There was no other song that could have been on this list unless we had included Let's Run Away, and there you go, because if Let's Just Run Away had made it, that would have made my number 1, because I think that's maybe the second best Johnny Gill track ever done. My number 1, Bell Biv DeVoe, Gangster.
Wow. Did Something in Your Eyes make your top 12?
I had to bump it from the back.
Wow. Wow. I would expect that's what I thought it'd be your number 1.
No, it's worthy. It's a worthy contender. I listened to Something in Your Eyes, but then you can only have 4 songs. And you got to remember, I actually like Bell Biv DeVoe's Hootie Mack, so I like more than 4 songs on this album.
Fair play to you. Well, I picked Gangster anyway. Me and you picked Gangster.
Yeah,
but it's still, Andrew Knight still got a selection to go. Yeah, wow, I'm just stunned. Okay, my number 12 was The Situation by BBD. Number 11, Ralph Tresvant, Love at First Sight. Number 10, Johnny Gill, Master. Number 9, Bell Biv DeVoe, Gangster. There you go. Number 8, Ralph Tresvant, Your Touch. Number 7, Johnny Gill, The Floor. Number 6, Johnny Gill, Acute Section. Number 5, Who's the Mac, Ralph Tresvant. Number 4, Bell Biv DeVoe, Something in Your Eyes. Could have been higher. Number 3, Johnny Gill, Where No Man Has Gone Before. Number 2, Bell Biv DeVoe, Please Come Back. And I realised when I did my first draft of Bell Biv DeVoe was number 1, I thought, no. The one track that I've always consistently listened to from back then to now, and it still gives me goosebumps. I do believe it. I think it's a very, very special record. I also think it mixes very, very well Janet Jackson's That's the Way Love Goes. Jimmy, I wonder if they could have done a swap, if Ralph would have got That's the Way Love Goes, and they could have given Janet this track, but they didn't. But my number one for all you out there is When I Need Somebody. The album mix. Stunning track. Special track. And again, it's very... It sounds like Janet's That's the Way Love Goes. The production, it mixes very well into it, you know. So, yeah.
6.
Janet would have murdered When I Need Somebody. Oh my God! I'm just listening. I just played it in my. I'm hearing her voice on that, and it would sound like angelic.
Sounds in the production as both tracks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Is that Lisa
an
Keys on
amazing
that?
track. It's an outstanding track, guys. That I think it's better than Something in Your Eyes, but that's just my opinion. I think it's a better track than that.
Right.
Highly underrated. Saved the album for me. Better than anything on the album.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love what you did there. And as a matter of fact, it's very personal, but like I was totally listening to the Control album for some reason, just like revisiting it while I was listening to Ralph Tresvant in '94. It was weird that you put Janet in there. But anyway, it's my own thing. Anyhow, love it. All right. So my number 12 is Long Way From Home, Johnny Gill. Number 11, Where No Man Has Gone Before. Sorry, guys. Johnny Gill. Number 10, Q Sweet Love Addiction, Johnny Gill. Number 9, From the Back, Bell Biv DeVoe. Number 8, G-Spot, Ralph Tresvant. Number 7, Master Suite, Johnny Gill. Number 6, Sexo, Ralph Tresvant. Number 5, The Situation, Bell Biv DeVoe. Number 4, When I Need Somebody, Ralph Tresvant. Number 3, Who's the Mac, Ralph Tresvant. Number 2, Nickel, Bell Biv DeVoe. And my number 1 goes a little something like this. You ask me what I say, why not? Anything is possible and anything can be. Therefore tonight I'll get you hot. You'll feel passion you never dreamed. And I know you feel I'm overconfident. What kind of man could I be? It's clear to see it's animal attraction. When you add it up, it's just a matter of passion, girl. Something in your eyes that you were looking for. Something you could adore. Something in your eyes gave me a sign, and I knew it was on. I knew it was on. I could do more, but anything is possible. Anyways, Bell Biv DeVoe, Babyface, the combination that you did not expect at all. And if you want to hear, I keep saying it, for me, Jay Leno, 1993, Ricky Bell, that's my favorite performance of him of that song. I just, man, love that song. And I knew as soon as we actually came up with this idea, oh yeah, it's number 1. But it was just, and everything else was built around that song. So, yeah, that's my number.
Another thing that makes me smile so much. So, in a podcast where a Ralph Tresvant album, a Johnny Gill album, and Bell Biv DeVoe's Hootie Mack album is included, you have put a song from Hootie Mack as your number 1. That you have melted my heart completely. I'm done.
No. Yeah, I think. I mean, I was a big Leno fan back in the day because I moved to '92, and of course they were great there. I think they were on MTV or one of these award shows when I can see them on the stage singing a song. That's the only song that really got them on the shows, because it was a not just a Babyface track, but it got Ricky to sing his stuff. Yeah. That will save the album. That saved the album. Love that. I'm surprised you guys didn't rate it that much. That surprised me. That definitely surprised me.
But wait. But Stevie did say it was originally your number 1.
Yeah,
so to me, it's like we all think highly of it. Clearly,
it's a great track.
But Beej loves the album, so it's all rounded out. I think the 4 of us.
I love that song. That song's great.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I am surprised it hasn't made VG's top 12. I am very surprised. Very surprised.
So, Vijay, what was the collective?
So, songs that didn't get any votes, which is interesting. Lost in the Moment, Hootie Mack, Ghetto Booty, My Aphrodisia, You'll Remember Me. They didn't get any votes from anybody. So just so that you know, I'm going to count down from 25. So you got Show Me the Way by Bell Biv DeVoe, Ralph Tresvant's The Booty Fair at number 24. Number 23 was Ralph Tresvant, Sex Maniac. Number 22 was Ralph Tresvant, Your Touch. Number 21 was Johnny Gill, I Know Where I Stand. Number 20 was Ralph Tresvant, G-Spot. Number 19 was Johnny Gill, The Floor. Number 18 was Ralph Tresvant, Sexo. Number 17 was Bell Biv DeVoe's Lovely. Number 16 was Johnny Gill's Master Suite. Number 15 was Bell Biv DeVoe's The Situation. Number 14, Johnny Gill's Provocative. Number 13, Above the Rim. Number 12, Bell Biv DeVoe's Please Come Back. Number 11, Johnny Gill's Acute Sweet Love Addiction. Number 10, Johnny Gill's Long Way From Home. Number 9, Ralph Tresvant's Graveyard. Number 8, Johnny Gill's I Got You. Number 7, Bell Biv DeVoe's From the Back. Number 6, Bell Biv DeVoe's Nickel. Number 5, Johnny Gill's Where No Man Has Gone Before. Number 4, Bell Biv DeVoe's Gangster. Number 3, Ralph Tresvant, When I Need Somebody. Number 1, Ralph Tresvant.
Wait, 2. Oh, number 2.
Number 3 was Ralph Tresvant's When I Need Somebody. Number 2 was Who's the Mac by Ralph Tresvant. That means Bell Biv DeVoe's Something in Your Eyes is number 1.
No surprise.
What do I know? You're all winners except me. So you're great. Well done.
What would we rate? So, if you out of a 10, what would you give each of these 3 albums? Start with you, VJ.
Out of 10, what would I give these albums?
Yeah.
Ralph Tresvant, I would give a 4.
Yes.
It's,
That was the exact number I had in my head.
maybe a 5 because there are some redeeming moments. Maybe for those 4 or 5. Johnny Gill's in hindsight, I would give a 7, and I think Hootie Mack would probably get a 7.5 or something like that.
7.5.
Wow.
I love Hootie Mack. I love Hootie Mack. You can't tell me anything about Hootie Mack, man. I'm in my own lane in my head. Hootie Mack. I'm listening to all the tracks right now.
What about you, Stevie?
Johnny Gill, I'll give it a generous 7.5. Bell Biv DeVoe, 5. I'll give it 5. And Ralph Tresvant, I'll give it. I do actually like this album. I'll give it 6.5.
Wow. Goodness.
Maybe 7 maximum. No, I
Nice. What about you?
All right. So again, when I give these numbers, remember the logo I have in back of me. All right. Johnny Gill, a 3. Ralph Tresvant, a 4. And Hootie Mack, actually a 6.
What?
Those are my numbers. But I also want to take this opportunity to say I remember back in the day, like when the albums came out, Quiet Time to Play was my favorite song from the album. Like back then.
You can't.
But now
Johnny Gill 3 out of 10. You can't.
Dude, I listened to it once and then I was like, I have no desire to listen to it again. Like I was good. Like I was really good. Even I Got You, I liked back then, but I was just like, it's all right. Like the only one I liked was Master Suite. That's it. And again, I'm like, Johnny, you can do better than this. Like your first album was like, I give it a 10. Like I think the first album was flawless.
Yes. 10
and so to come from that to like, yo, I was like 3 out of 5.
Wow.
He's giving 3 out of 10.
Oh my god.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
It is kind of cold. It's excessive.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, for me, I'll give Johnny probably I'm just thinking. I mean, I like some of the songs on there, so I'd give it as a 7. I think it didn't have a big hit. Hootie Mack, I think that just I can be transported back to '93 watching that video and my disappointment. And Something in Your Eyes was the record, but it was just a disappointment. So I give it a 4. And Ralph, no. BBD, I'll give it a 5, and Ralph, I'll give it a 4. From the album cover, his 4 songs were at the bottom of my list, almost as if I had to pick something. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand
Well,
why.
I thought I was being brutal tonight, but you three, especially you've come out on brutally on top tonight.
Yeah, no, but think about
I've been
'93.
that-
We had Jodeci's "Cry for You."
I've been that brutal.
We had Jodeci's "Cry for You." We had 12 playing, and so this was what he was giving us at this time. So it just didn't make sense. We had intros, "Come Inside" and "Let Me Be." That was '93. This was and you listen. You got to put these albums in context of what was coming out, and you realize
any of them are below the. I don't think any of them are below 5 because they've all got some killer track on them.
If you were comparing, if you had Sensitivity, or if you had Poison album, or you had Johnny's debut album, would you?
They're at the top, like say, they're 9, 10 albums. These, I don't think they drop. The mid albums, aren't they? They're not. I don't think they're like 3. I think that's just.
That's just mean. I agree. I mean, I was a little mean.
I think I just see the cover, and So, but anyway, the thing is that we're fortunate that if we were doing this in '94, it would have been savage because we wouldn't have known that they had a chance to redeem themselves with Home Again album. So we were looking back and being able to and this doesn't take anything away from the whole New Edition package.
Hell no.
Doesn't take away from the fact that MCA should have put their foot down and said, guys, nope, we're going to do a reunion album because Words to the Mother was such a big hit. I saw the video. I don't know who did the rap for Ronnie. It's Poison's My Prerogative. Don't be cruel. I was like, having them all and then Bobby singing. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. And then they did the MTV performance as well. And it's like, and then it just didn't make sense. It just missed opportunity, and it didn't help that the album subsequently went that great. Then it's almost like, why do this? But it was fun, guys. It was fun.
And can I say something? I also think that, sorry. I was gonna say and also no one really talks about these albums, right? So I feel like it's good that we're celebrating them, we're talking about them. They happened, they happened. And let's just celebrate the good ones, like the good tracks, because there were good tracks on them. And maybe they'll, I don't know, have some new life or something. But I'm also glad that we talked about this, and I hope that you guys enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stevie, what were you saying?
I was just saying, I think it's time to land that plane, Andy. I think we've gone way over time here. Liverpool had extra 7 minutes tonight. They just couldn't do it, could they? You know what I mean? But yeah.
So as always, guys, we will as we log off, we will let you guys know what we're going to be doing next. I think a few ideas were banded around. Boomerang, More Money soundtrack. That'll be interesting. But we'll have our discussion and let you guys know. But as always, it's always a pleasure for you to spend our Sunday afternoon, evenings with you guys. And also the fact is that we love the music, we love the group. We just have very different opinions about the albums, but we appreciate the fact that they released them. And this is a really good time just to reflect on something that came out 30 years ago. So it is, so lots of love all around.
Amen.
So from the three of us, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you very soon. Take care. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat.
Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
Somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No, okay.
They understand what Jonas' boys are winning all spirits.
play it.